What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you some progressions and how you can build up to doing a full range of motion Nordic hamstring curl. Because you're watching this video, you probably already know what a Nordic hamstring curl is, but if not, these are literally one of the greatest hamstring exercises that you can do, and there has been so much research on this one exercise alone, and it has shown that if you do this even just once per week, it will vastly decrease your risk of hamstring injuries in sports. On top of that, these will make your hamstrings extremely strong. As we know, hamstrings are the muscles that enable us to move our legs powerfully and efficiently, so they're absolutely essential when it comes to activities such as sprinting and jumping. So this is an exercise that is absolutely wonderful for every single athlete. If you follow me on Instagram, then I'm sure you've seen me do these. I literally do these every single week, and I talk very highly about them because they have so much benefit and I absolutely love them. So I'm somebody who actually has a big history when it comes to hamstring injuries. I've pulled both of my hamstrings a total of 9 times. 9 times. And if you've pulled your hamstring before, you know that it sucks. There's just not much that you can do, and you're gonna be out for a period of time from your sport. And one of the biggest factors of injury is previous injury. So re-pulling my hamstring was always something that was in the back of my head. But since I've added these consistently into my routine, not only have I not pulled my hamstring in years, but my hamstrings have gotten so strong that it's really improved my sprint speed and my jumping ability. I can honestly say that my hamstrings are at an all-time strongest that they've ever been. Alright, so now that I've talked so much, I'm finally going to show you a couple progressions that you can do. Now, first things first, if you want to see progress with these, then you're going to have to do them consistently. Now, keep in mind, the Nordic hamstring curl is very intense and it will take you time to recover from. That being said, I recommend doing these just once per week. Throughout the week, you can supplement your training with some other hamstring work. For example, some RDLs, bridges, some hamstring curls, whatever you do, as long as it's lower intensity, that way you'll be fresh and ready to go the next time you do the Nordic curls. For the first variation, you're going to do a slow lowering eccentric. You simply just want to lower yourself down as slow as you possibly can until you get to the ground or to the point where you feel like you've lost control. As you can see in the video here, I'm keeping control all the way down to the ground, and then I'm using my hands to push myself back up. Now keep in mind, I've been doing these for a while, so I've built up strength and the control in order to do these. You might find that these are quite difficult and that you can only get about halfway until you lose control. If that's the case, then I recommend doing partial curls. That's where you place an object in front of you and you lower yourself down to that object while keeping complete control. In this video here, I'm simply just lowering myself down towards the bench. Now, as soon as my chest touches that bench, I'm using my hamstrings to pull myself back up. Now, if you're unable to use your hamstrings to pull yourself back up, then you can simply just use your hands to push up back to that start position, just like how I was doing when I was lowering myself down to the floor. And one easy way that you can progress from here is to simply just use an object that allows you to lower yourself down even further. So if you look at the back of this video here, right next to the window, there are those steps. You can just use those, stack them up to the level that you're comfortable with. You can stack up some weight plates, you can stack up some mats. Knees over toes guy, he stacks up those pads. Honestly, it doesn't matter so much what you use as long as you can lower yourself down towards that object with control. And once you get comfortable lowering yourself down to that level, then you can consistently progress with this by just lowering it even further until you get all the way to the ground. So once you're able to lower yourself down all the way to the floor with control, then it's time for the next progression, which is using your hamstrings to bring yourself back up. Now, just because you can comfortably lower yourself all the way down to the floor doesn't mean you'll be able to use your hamstrings to come back up. So what you can do is go right back into the partial reps. Find that location where you're able to comfortably lower yourself down with that control and comfortably bring yourself up using your hamstrings. Now, to be completely honest with you, this part really isn't that easy. It's going to be difficult and it's going to really take time for you to progress from doing a partial range of motion Nordic all the way to that full range of motion and being able to bring yourself back up with control. So what I recommend from here is the addition of bands. The band is going to assist you on the way down and up and really help you break through those plateaus. Now this is where things can get a little tricky because there are so many different types of bands, so many different thicknesses, but the most important thing is to keep the consistency going. Some gyms have these bands for you to use, but if your gym doesn't, just simply go online and you can search up pull-up bands or heavy resistance bands. I recommend getting a set that has at least 4 different thicknesses. That way it'll be easy for you to keep track and it'll be easy for you to make progress with it. So in the video here, I'm doing a band assisted Nordic and I'm going all the way down to the floor and coming all the way back up. Now you want to make sure that you're working in that range that you're able to do. So if you're still at that partial level, whether it's using a bench or a couple pads, you still want to be able to use that band to assist you from that position all the way back up. And then you're going to progress it just like you've been doing. Keep lowering it down until you're comfortable enough to go all the way down to the floor and then come right back up. So if you're just starting out with the Nordic curls and you're not able to control yourself even halfway down, then you're going to need to start with a thick band, maybe even 2 bands. You're going to need to do a partial range, and then you're going to need to find that position where you're able to lower yourself down with control. From there, you'll progress by continuously lowering yourself down even more until you get comfortable to the point where you're able to lower yourself down all the way to the floor. Once you're all the way at the floor, start using a thinner band, and then a thinner band, and then even the thinnest band. And eventually you should be able to control yourself down all the way using no band at all. And then you'll just run through the rest of the progressions. Start trying to lift yourself back up with the hamstrings. Start partially, lower yourself down, switch the band from a thick to a thin, and so on. So what are the rep ranges that you should work in? How are you actually going to go about progressing through this with some good consistency? Well, I recommend doing this in 3-week cycles. The first week is going to be 3 sets of 8 repetitions, and you want to work within the range and the band that you're able to do without going to failure. For the second week, you're going to do 3 sets of 6 repetitions, and because these are less repetitions than the first week, you should be able to push a little bit further. And the third week, you'll do 3 sets of 4 repetitions. Again, because this is less reps than the previous week, try to push a little bit further. After that, you're just going to go ahead and repeat the cycle, doing a 3 sets of 8, the following week 3 sets of 6, and then after that 3 sets of 4. Doing a full range of motion Nordic hamstring curl is truly an advanced exercise, and it's going to take a lot of time and consistency to be able to actually do it. So don't give up, just keep putting in that work and eventually you'll get there. Well guys, I hope this video was helpful. Be sure to give this a like and share this with everybody else who you think can benefit. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my content in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.